Now I'm old enough. I'm 63, man. So I came up in the early 70s and back when fusion was a thing, man. But that word kind of went to hell in a handbasket. Mainly because like Bob James, and they use cheesy keyboards, and then the jam band thing is just endless noodling. But what you guys do is different, man. I mean, how would you describe your sound right now?
Uh, well, I definitely wouldn't call us a fusion band. And I wouldn't call us a jam band.
Right.
Um, I would say that maybe we're almost kind of more like a pop band in a way, like an instrumental pop band, but we improvise a lot. So I mean, I don't really know how I would classify it, but I definitely wouldn't. Definitely wouldn't throw it kind of neatly into any of those categories. I think more than any other tradition, we're pulling from, I guess, the jazz tradition. But I don't also either consider us to be a jazz band. So I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, we're a song band first. I almost
there's
feel
some
like
funk in the mix.
There's a lot of funk in the mix.
Yeah,
there's a lot of funk in the mix. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different things in the mix, but yeah, I don't really know what to call it. I just know that, generally for us, it's like the songs are the things that determine how we play. And sometimes people bring in a song that's really funky. Sometimes they bring in a song that's more like a ballad. Sometimes it feels kind of earthy. And I mean, it can vary greatly,
Man, over COVID, one thing I did is finally buy a guitar, buy an amp, and get back into it, and hook up with the best musicians here in Boone in the mountains, and just big collective that does nothing but improvise strictly. Do you guys ever do that and then pick out the best riffs?
No, we never really do that. I mean, we never just you're talking about improvising with no composition,
right?
Like just
not live, but I mean just to try to find riffs to work on and build.
No,
wow,
no, never. No, it's not how we work. I mean, we could. I think most of us have done that with other bands, but no. And Snarky Puppy, when we start working on a song, the song's already done. Someone's already written the entire song and written all the parts for everybody. We might change things. We might change riffs, or we might get into a section and then collectively kind of start creating a different groove. That does happen, but we never just sit down and say, all right, let's just play and create something. We don't write together in that way,
Somebody brings it to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Does pretty much everybody read music in the collective?
Yeah, everybody does.
Creative charts are fascinating in and of themselves.
Charts?
Yeah, creative charts for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is everybody reads, but we don't write out the music ever.
Oh.
So, we learn it by ear.
Oh, well, that's cool. Well, that's kind of, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, we learn everything by ear. Very old school. Yeah.
So they come in and they play the riffs, and wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, you come in with everything learned, and we put it all together, and then we make little modifications. Yeah.
Do you agree that the ability to write music? I don't know. Is improvisation come from a different side of the brain, or what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I don't know anything about the brain.
Well, there's some people that can read music but can't improvise. You know what I'm talking about.
Of course, yeah. Well, I mean, I think everything's just a skill. I think that you spend a lot of time reading, you learn to read. You spend a lot of time using your ears, you learn to use your ears. And most, musicians in our world know how to do both. And in Snarky Puppy, everybody knows how to do both. So, but the ears are number one, because we never read music in this band. We just can, but we don't.
Oh, wow. No, I like that, though. Because you can, I mean, I've seen even jazz shows where they start so to the chart that nothing, magic happens.
Right.
Well, what's it like to you when things are cooking on stage? I mean, what puts the hair out on the back of your neck stand up when things are working right?
Um, for me, it's always about kind of that moment where things go into a zone where they've never gone before, and there's like this kind of element of risk that kind of the train could fall off the tracks.
Yes.
You know, and in that moment, you really sense kind of that the band is leaderless, you know, and that things have gone off the map. And I really like those moments because you see collectively, you know, that everyone on stage is trying to figure out a way to continue pushing the thing into this new direction, but also bearing in mind where we come from and where we have to go in the song, you know. So it kind of becomes this giant, let's say it like a collective choose your own adventure, you know, and everyone has to choose the same thing, you know, but play a different role in it. And that for me is the most fun. It's like the game of allowing the music to breathe and go and do its thing, and be free to do its thing, but also keeping it tethered to the essence of the song and the meaning of the song, you know.
Well, like they say, you can go crazy in a solo as long as you start right and end right, you know.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, can people go off on a limb when they do their solos, or how much freedom is there?
Oh, of course. I mean, not even on solos. I mean, some, you know, even if it's like in the compositional part of the song, people can change things up in a big way, you know, or like, you know, sometimes we play a tune and for the intro, instead of starting the way we start on the record, I'll just look at a random person in the band and be like, you start, you know, and that could mean anything. It doesn't mean that they start with their part. It just means that, like, set us up, like, get us into this song. And that's really fun, you know, because that, if everyone's listening, then, you know, which they are all the time, obviously, then you use whatever's happening in that moment to inform what you do next. Even if it's a song you played the same way 100 times, well, tonight it'll be different because it started different, you know. I think it's just all about staying in the same kind of emotional energy, you know.
Yeah, I was just about to say, man, there's probably times where you just kind of look at each other like, all right, where we're going, man. A lot of looks at each other and
oh yeah,
you know, figuring it out. Wow, that's
oh yeah, a lot of communication, yeah.
Well, man, how do you handle with that many people in a collective, who plays when and what gigs and all that kind of fun stuff?
Well, we try to space it out, you know. We try to make sure that everybody gets equal playing time over the year and that they also have enough time to do their own things. So it's kind of a jigsaw puzzle, but we figured it out by now after so many years of doing it.
Well, what's your thoughts on jazz being at the low end of the totem pole as far as popularity and all that kind of fun stuff?
Well, I think that's changed. I mean, personally, it never really mattered to me, you know, because I grew up with jazz not being popular. But, I mean, in the last 10 years, I've seen it skyrocket in terms of popularity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to play jazz again. It's cool to like jazz. There's people that don't play music that go to jazz gigs now.
Wow.
You know, I mean, it's taken off. I mean, you see Samara Joy winning Best New Artist as a jazz singer.
I know that, man. Yeah.
You know, J.D. Beck, and don't mean J.D. Beck, like, you know, like on, you know, getting huge press attention. Jacob Collier up for Best New Artist. You know, it's like, and then also these people are like collaborating with pop stars. Jacob's collaborating with SZA. Kamasi Washington's collaborating with Kendrick Lamar. I mean, I think what has made jazz kind of come back into the spotlight a little bit has been jazz musicians' willingness to abandon this kind of archaic idea that like jazz will never be better than it was in 1969.
Right.
You know, and like trying to replicate that all the time. Like now I think people are like, I love hip hop and I love jazz, so I'm gonna make the combination of those two things.
Yeah,
like,
I just watched Dinner Party at Coachella and Glasper and them mixed it up for sure.
Of course, yeah, exactly, yeah. And then you see people who, like non-Americans, mixing their own kind of folkloric musical traditions with jazz, you know, and I mean that's happening all over the place too, and I think it's very hip. I mean that's the idea, right? I mean it's like we got to be doing something new and something that we have some ownership of instead of trying to like recreate these moments that happened 50 years ago that you'll never actually be able to do because it's a different time and you're a different musician, you know. So I'm very optimistic, actually. I see things going in a nice direction.
All right, man. You coming to Huntington, West Virginia? This will be outdoors. This will be cool. And yeah,
it's my birthday.
Oh, wow. Your birthday.
April 24th, yeah.
And
is it April 24th? Is that the day we play there? I think it is.
Man, I think it is.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, it sure is.
So it'll be outdoors. It'll be fun. And yeah, this will be a groove. Appreciate you guys coming to town.
Our pleasure. Hope to see you there, man.
All right. Appreciate it, brother.
All right. See you later.
Thanks, Michael.